And we're back. Can't seem to find anyone. It's been 2 days since I joined the soaring club. Since then, whenever we've had any spare time again, has been trying to really hard to recruit members. Everyone was interested, yet not enough to join the club.
やっぱみんな天音先輩にビビっちゃってるのかな。
She's not that scary, is she?
じゃなくて、すごすぎて。葵はほら、まだ転校してきたばっかだから実感ないかもだけど、あの人、うちの学校じゃ生きる伝説だから。
I know firsthand that her weirdness is legendary.
それに、人間嫌いだって噂もあるしね。
The basis for such rumors is not clear, but she doesn't have any friends, hardly shows up for classes, and is locked away in the garage for the entire day. Even when she does come out, she's always alone and doesn't have any contact with anyone. If you look at it like that, she certainly seems quite antisocial.
その天音先輩が率いる部活でしょ。ついていけるか心配みたい。それと、もう一つのあれ。
Oh, that rumor? There's something that I learned from looking for members. It is something only said in whispers, like some urban legend.
ソアリング部に関わると、飛岡先生に目をつけられる。
Is that true?
さあ、でも可能性はなくはないんだな。
Tobioka Kujiya Sensei. His first name means whale, but he's not as big in size as you might imagine, but it's said his attitude is larger than life. I've seen him before. He's the teacher acting as a moral advisor. He's the nagging and annoying type. There were a lot of teachers like that at my old school, but here it's a bit of a rarity.
飛岡先生はね、ロボット部の顧問なのよ。
In other words, the advisor to Ageha's club.
天音先輩がその昔ロボット部で輝かしい成果を上げたことは前に話したよね。
She was one step away from the national championship, you mean? Again, not.
それもコントローラーのボタンの押し間違いで負けたの。
I know about Mochizuki-senpai to a certain extent, but I didn't think she'd be the sort of person to make such a simple mistake.
あの話には続きがあるの。飛岡先生は当時からロボット部の顧問をしていたんだけど、その時ものすごく悔しがってたんだって。
Yeah, most people would be. I would have felt the same way if I had been in that situation.
次こそはって決意してたらしいんだけど、それからしばらくして天音先輩はあっさりロボット部を辞めちゃったの。
Why?
さあ知らない。一説によると天音先輩は全国優勝を逃した時も特に悔しがってはいなかったそうよ。以来慶風学園ロボット部はその時の栄光を引きずりつつも大した結果を残せずにいる。
So you mean Tobioka-sensei blamed Amane for it? The guy made a serious face and nodded. That's ridiculous. But I can't really say that. My last school was good when it came to sports. There's a sports scholarship program, and it was important for the school to get results in tournaments. The advisors and directors of each club are evaluated accordingly. At times, it may result in a turning point in their lives. The robotics club is the most popular at this school. Its performance is directly linked with the promotion of the school. Even if Tobioka-sensei blamed Amane, I can't exactly say that it's strange. Are you okay with this?
何が？
Well, Tobioka is your advisor, isn't he? Are you alright with him keeping an eye on you?
まあネチネチ嫌味言われるかもだけど、耳栓しとけば平気でしょ。
No, that's not the problem, is it? Okay, I looked a little confused.
葵の言いたいことわかるよ。けどもっと大切なものがあるからしょうがないよ。
What do you mean more important?
それはあら、あなたたち水瀬葵くんと姫木あげはさんだったわね。
Hi.
こんにちは、副会長さん。部員集めの真っ最中ってところかしら。その様子じゃうまくいってなさそうね。
You may be the antagonist now, but watch, later in the story, you're actually going to be defending our club. That's how these student council people always work. The vice president gave me a bitter smile as she made her assumptions.
でもまああと一人くらいならどうとでも。言っておきますけど幽霊部員は絶対に認めないわよ。
She frankly stated.
どうしてですか？
Well, there must be other clubs that have ghost members, right? Why is it only us? The vice president glares at us as we make our childish protests in vain.
他の小規模な文化系クラブならばともかくソアリング部は設備の規模が大きすぎるわ。あれだけのガレージを占有しているクラブは他にありません。ロボット部はでっかいガレージ使ってますよ。あそこは部員の数が約60名。全国大会で実績も残しています。
Yeah, once.
それ残したのは天音先輩なのに。
The vice president ignores the guy's grumbling and continues to speak.
もしソアリング部がガレージを明け渡せば、例えば軽音部と和太鼓研究会の練習スタジオに改造することもできます。
Or they could just share the room from the get-go and like mix the fuse of the clubs together.
他にもラジコン部や写真部、英検なんかも欲しがるでしょうね。
Why are there so many clubs? Like, can they fit them all in there?
中を仕切ればそれら複数の部の活動場所として再利用も可能よ。
I guess. I mean, it would probably be pretty annoying for like the people in like the film clubs and stuff to hear drumming all the time.
そう考えると幽霊部員を集めて形だけの部活動なんて認められるわけがありません。ごもっともです。
Okay, and I felt small as we looked downwards. We became embarrassed about expressing our childish opinions.
ですが
She let out a little. She sighed.
あの望月先輩が声をかけるならついてくる人はいるはずです。
In other words, you're not making any unreasonable demands.
当然です。私は別にソアリング部を潰したいわけじゃありません。他の部に示しがつかないこの状況を是正したいだけです。
But Amane isn't attempting to recruit members by herself.
それがもどかしくてたまらない。ここはこの私が悪役を買って出てでも天音先輩のお尻を引っ叩くしかないと。そこまでは言ってません。いいですか？ちゃんとした部員を見つけること。幽霊部員なんて絶対に認めませんからね。
Yes, we understand. Vice President reminded us as she walked away.
あかりさんって厳しいけどいい人だよね。
Well, she's just doing what she's supposed to do. Yeah, she doesn't seem very flexible though. She seems familiar with the students' names and profiles, and it looks like she wouldn't be able to get away with abusing the power that comes with the position. But it's strange, isn't it?
何が？
That although Amane suddenly left the robotics club, she's kept pace with the soaring club for years. Until she became the super repeat student.
そういやそうだね。
Even so, she isn't trying to get any new members.
やっぱり本当に人間嫌いなのかも。
The more I know about the situation, the less I understand it. After school, Kay and I headed to the soaring club's garage. After all, we're already members.
すまないな君たち。
As she looks at us, Amane bows her head in apology. Cut it out, Amane.
そうですよ。天音先輩にそんなことされちゃなんかこう寿命が縮みそうです。もしダメだったらおとなしくここを出ていくつもりだ。移転先はまだ探している最中だが。
Does that mean you're giving up on the club? Amane nods apologetically. Amane, why don't you look for new members yourself?
これは私が自分のためにしていることだから。
But, you know, now
誰かを巻き込む理由がない。
Now you kinda do, though. Is that what she really thinks? Is that because you don't want to let anyone come near this place? If so, then we...
そんなことないぞ。見学ならいつでも大歓迎だ。
But how about becoming members?
わからない。そうしないとここにいられなくなることは分かってる。それは すごく困る。でもどうするべきなのか、私はまだその回答を見出せていないんだ。
It looks really distressed and became despondent. If we ask any more questions, all we'll be doing is cornering her even more. Anyway, once you've built the glider, what do you plan to do next?
大会に出場するとか？
We can use the club's objectives as material for our recruitment drive. As far as the quick check that we did goes, apparently there are competitions for gliders too.
大会？いや、そういうものに出場する予定はないぞ。
Huh? So what are you gonna do?
行きたい場所があるんだ。
Amane gave a smile. It seemed just like she was about to start reminiscing about old times. A place you want to go to.
イスカが言ってたんだ。グライダーが完成すればそこへ行けるって。
Iska. She said that name before. He'll fly to the sky that Iska spoke of. Looking as if memories had come flooding back, she looked at the photo frame on the desk. The photo frame without a photo. She looked like she had gone into her own little world, and it didn't seem that we could ask her any more questions.
それじゃあ私たち
To search for people who might join the club. Whatever answer Amane gives, avoiding having the club status repealed was a top priority.
すまない。いえいえ、その代わり天音先輩は活動実績のまとめ作っておいてくださいね。うん、わかった。
It was past 9 o'clock at night. In the kitchen, I was washing the dishes for 5 people. In the dormitory, there were 6 people, including myself, but Kotoi didn't show up for dinner or to help prepare beforehand. She was shut away in her room. Just in case, I put her dinner in the fridge. If she gets hungry, she can eat it whenever she wants. Maybe she's feeling down. Why does she want to drop out of school? Is it because of what Agea said, that it was because of the argument she had with the girls in the class? Is it because the lessons are boring? Or could it be something that I don't know about? It's possible. It could even be something that not even she understands. I, of all people, can't really say anything about other people. I don't think that anyone would understand the real reason why I came back to this town. To be honest, I still haven't really solved things for myself yet. As I began to feel kind of down, I was surprised to hear the sound of footsteps stomping down the hallway. Kaneko. What is it? Could it be that you were attacked by a pervert? Well, I had my back to her. I couldn't stop my eyes from looking around in her direction. Huh? Someone had taken Kotori's clothes off? No, that can't be it. Oh, why don't you let her take a bath? In the bathtub? The wheelchair was in the bath's dressing room. It was the wheelchair that Kotori used when in the bathroom. She always used that when she took a shower. I've never seen her do that, of course. She can't get into the bathtub while still in the wheelchair. For her to get in the bathtub, she needed someone to help her. According to what I heard, Kotori is an older sister. She only gets into the bathtub when she comes here. Anyway, our sister hadn't come around here recently. At least not since I'd become the dorm mother. No. What? Kaneko seemed to say I'm not coming with you as she left me by myself. Wait. As she left behind me, I turned to face Kotori. Alright, shall I help you get in? She was glaring at me with an angry look on her face. Okay, then go do that. Yeah, but... Hold on. Kotori went into the dressing room and closed the door. When she does that, I can't exactly go barging in there all of a sudden. If you have any problems, call me right away, okay? She replied in a scary voice. There's nothing else I can do, so I wait outside. Sit down in front of the dressing room door like I'm guarding it. This isn't really that important, but to have one guy in a girl's dormitory makes taking a bath really inconvenient. I'm the only one who has a set time. If I inadvertently run into any of them in here, I can't just get away with an apology. From the bathroom I could faintly hear the sound of the shower. She must be washing herself off before getting into the bath. I can hear the sound of the water lightly splashing. I feel kind of nervous. The limited information I get from the sound actually stirs my imagination. I am strongly aware of the fact that Kotori is getting into the bath. What am I thinking? If she knew what I was imagining, she'd probably try to tear me apart, limb from limb, as I try to clear the thoughts from my head. I react by bolting upwards. I open the dressing room door and dash inside. Are you okay? You jumped into the bathtub. How big is this bathtub? I jumped into the bathtub and lift Kotori out, while she wriggled and struggled with her hands out of the bath. Snap out of it, Kotori. Kotori was still panicking and calling desperately as I rescued her. You're okay now. Kotori looked at me. Looked like she didn't know who or even what she was clinging to. It's alright, everything's fine now. Gonna fucking drown in the bathtub. Kotori weakly nodded while still holding on to me tightly. I continued to hold on to her to calm her down. Why would you even take a bath? Like, taking a bath, like, you're just kind of sitting there in your own, like, filth. Like, showers are, like, more productive. Like, why would you want to take a bath? I don't get it. Both of us suddenly realized what we had failed to realize before. Kotori was stark naked and I was holding her in my arms. God damn it, I gotta censor stuff. I'm sorry. For a moment we didn't say anything, but she couldn't exactly kick me out, so we just held on to each other. Kotori tries to hide her chest, but squeezes even closer towards me. It's okay, I'm not looking. What stupid noises again. Kotori goes bright red and looks like she's about to cry. I'll go now, I'm sorry. I was about to put Kotori down on the floor. What the heck? If I... What? Eh? Okay, what is this supposed to say? That if I went to call for Kaneko, that everything would be cleared up. You know, we're just gonna ignore this sentence. God damn it. Weakly yet desperately, she held on to me. Well, at least I know that the restoration patch is working. But... Kotori's hands were shaking slightly. I remember that time we first met on Windmill Hill. Okay. I nod, and it seems like her shaking has subsided a little. We stayed like this for a while, and Kaneko poked her head into the bathroom to take a look. She almost drowned, because she's an idiot. Well, this and that. So this is the result of ignoring Kaneko's advice? But if we were to say something like that in front of the tearful, shaking Kotori, I would feel really bad for her. Seeing that Kaneko was implying the same thing. Could you get a bath towel? Then, could you cover Kotori up? I'll Kaneko put the towel around her. Kotori quietly held on to me. After that, Kotori calmly got into the bath with Kaneko. Kaneko also made sure not to meddle unnecessarily and was very considerate towards Kotori to help calm her down. While I was doing the dorm mother's jobs in the kitchen, Kotori had gotten out of the bath and came to see me. She looked pretty embarrassed. Well, never mind. I stopped myself from saying something like that. It's another one of the dorm mother's jobs. There The reason why I did that just now was not because I'm the dorm mother.
呆れたでしょ。一人でお風呂にも入れないなんて。
Well, I mean, you can't use your legs, so I guess I can see that happening. I didn't know how to answer, and Kotobi left me behind and went back to her room.
もしもし、お姉ちゃん？なんでもない。泣いてなんていないよ。前に話してた学校のことだけど。もう決めたことだから。
Drink break. Yep, well, at least now I know that I installed the patch correctly. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Leave it to me. I get a signal, I ran ahead to block the cat's escape route. Tortoise shell cat, what the heck is that? Again, I blocked the stray cat's path and it searched for a third route. And there was... There was Kotobi, as she made an almost sickeningly cheerful smile. Now that's how to talk to a cat. Kotobi dangles an anchovy, which captivates the cat. I like how all the animal noises in this game are just people making noises. However, as expected of a stray cat, it won't let down its guard so easily. Kotobi nods and takes out a small fishing rod. An anchovy hangs on the end of the line. Just like a blessing descending from heaven, the anchovy draws the stray cat's attention. With Kotobi's skillful waving of the rod, she was almost literally reeling the cat towards her with the anchovy. Just as the cat reaches out its paw, Kotobi times the pulling away the anchovy so that the cat cannot reach it. It really was a little bit mean. Eventually, the cat, running out of patience, uses last resort. Jump. The cat jumped up onto Kotobi's lap all by itself. Amazingly, the cat settled into Kotobi's arms. I can't believe it fell for such a stupid plan. I felt like saying, come on, stray cat, you can do better than that. Kotobi shows a side that we've never seen before and smells affectionately while stroking the cat. The cat seems like it doesn't really enjoy being stroked, but he's too focused on the large amount of anchovies to run away. How do you know he's a stray? I guess I started stroking him too. Oh, girls like cats. Is it okay if I stroke him too? But I like cats too. That seems a bit unfair. Next is... I open the notebook to check. Things I want to do. It's a list of bullet points that Kotobi has written in her notebook. You're now in the middle of clearing Kotobi's list of things she still has left to do. As again I look at the notebook, Kotobi looks at us sideways, but not with suspicion. How did this situation occur? To answer that, we need to go back to this morning. This morning, I was ambivalent as to whether or not I should return the withdrawal notice that I had picked up to its rightful owner. Of course, you should typically return lost items back to the owner, but if I had done that, then Kotobi would leave the dorm, so I kept it. If that's what she wants to do, then I have no right to stop her, but I was still hesitant for some reason. So I was pacing back and forth along the hallway until... Kotobi, who was wearing her uniform, poked her head out from her room. She was furtively checking the situation outside. As our eyes meet, she slams the door shut. Oh, why is she acting so suspiciously? Kotori is always doing something suspicious, but there's definitely something behind her behavior just now. I concealed myself in the dining hall for a while. I wait 10 minutes. Hat appears in the little door at the bottom of Kotori's bedroom. Hat took a look around the entranceway, then came into the dining hall.
What?
Shh. Hat goes back to Kotori's room.
誰もいなかった？よし。
What does she mean by alright? Kotori came sneaking out of her room. She took a peek into the dining hall just to be safe. I hid behind the counter.
いないみたいね。あいつに見つかったらうるさそうだもん。
When she says that guy, I feel like she's talking about me. Kotori is wearing her uniform, but she isn't carrying her bag. In the entranceway, she opens up her notebook and looks inside. Boy! I sneak up behind her.
これは前にやったから、今日は。
Are you gonna skip school again today? Kotori jumped, let out a scream, and threw the notebook.
どうしているの？ちゃんと確認したのに。
That's why you should stop sending a duck to scout for you. As I pick up the notebook that she dropped, I look at the open page. Things I want to do. This is the page I saw before.
返して、私のノート。
Could it be that you're planning to do all of this before you quit school? Oh, seems like I was spot on.
やり残しを今日で全部終わらせるの？もういいでしょ？返して。
I handed back the notebook, and then I followed Kotori as she is about to leave.
なんでついてくるの？
I'm gonna help.
は？なんで？
It must be tough by yourself, right? Kotori looks at me like I'm an idiot. While we stop in front of the door, the doorbell rings. How could it be at this time?
おはようございます。
Okay,
およ？お二人さんお揃いで。
what did you come here for?
いや、ほらさ、
Kia pulls me towards her and whispers into my ear.
昨日変な感じだったし、そろそろまたサボるんじゃないかって思って。
So she came all the way here to ask Kotori to go to school with her. Bullseye?
マジっすか？
Yeah, the truth is that... How should I explain this? Kotori, I'm just gonna borrow your notebook. I go back to Kotori and take the notebook.
こら！
Using that to explain the situation to Agea. I explained that today she wants to finish the things I want to do list that is written in the notebook. I don't tell her about Kotori's plan to quit school.
これは大仕事だね。
Agea groans a little as she looks at the list.
そうよ。だから今日は学校休むから。そうするしかないよね。私も手伝うよ。
Couldn't you just wait for the weekend? That is how Agea and I ended up going with Kotori against her wishes to clear the things remaining on the list one by one. By the way, as far as us urgently searching for members of the club goes, last night we came up with a possible prospect. That's why we're going with Kotori.
もういいから、あなたたちは学校行きなさいよ。
Said Kotori while stroking the cat, but we don't listen.
じゃあ次は伊藤さんとこのペディグリーだね。
Agea pointed and read. Stroked the head of the big dog in the neighborhood. From the west, the Ito family are rich and have a well-known, very large dog called Pedigree that roams around freely in their garden. When we were kids, it was rare to see such big dogs, and we would often watch them lumbering around their spacious lawn. I'd like to ride around on its back. So far, I have lifted up Kotori on 2 occasions. Both times, she was light as a feather. Well, perhaps it's slightly exaggerating, but she really was light.
カバネさんならギリギリいけるかもね。なんたってセントバーナードだもん。
Pedigree is a Saint Bernard. They're pretty huge. While seriously considering Kotori's silly idea, we headed towards Hito's house.
汗かいた。
Said again as she put the baggage down on the grass.
でもここは風があって気持ちいいね。
Today is dry and sunny and the temperature isn't that high. It's quite hot in the sunlight, but there's a nice breeze. Here, I throw a sports drink to Agea?
お、サンキュー。
Thank you. There's one for you too, Kotori. I take some orange juice from the convenience store bag and pass to Kotori.
ありがとう。
You want to sit down here?
えっと
Yeah, give me a hand, would you? Gea, who looks like she's enjoying her sports drink, gets up and comes over.
何するの？
I want to put you down here.
いいっておおそうだね
I leave lifting up Kotori to Gea and tell her how to do it while I give a hand from the side.
よいしょっとありがとう
Kotori sits down on the grass and looks comfortable as she stretches her back.
お尻が蒸れた
Seems that wheelchairs can get quite hot in the summer.
さあお弁当
Time now is 12:30. It's exactly the time for lunch break. We spread out the lunch boxes that we brought and the juice and snacks we bought from the convenience store. We don't have a sheet, but it feels like we're having a picnic.
いただきますいただきます
I hear that epic music again. I made both mine and Kotori's lunch boxes while Gea had brought her own.
ほうハバネさんハバーグだねえねえ春巻きと交換しよういいけどやったー
Gea wolfs down the burger that she got by trading. Looks like she's enjoying it.
葵料理上手だよね女として自信なくすわ
Oh, your mom's good at cooking though, isn't she?
いやいや現役主婦と比べなさんな
Kotori's face seemed to say that she wasn't really suited to the situation, and she quietly ate her lunch. However, she didn't look as irritated as she was before. Gea either hadn't noticed or was pretending not to have noticed and carried on behaving the same way she always does.
私学校サボったの初めて今まで休みたいって思ったの注射の日くらいだったからさでもこうやって友達と遊ぶならたまにはいいかも
Said Gea playfully. She seems quite excited about skipping school for the first time. If your mom finds out, she's totally gonna kick your ass. Gea's mother doesn't hold back when she gives her daughters a kick in the ass. And I've been kicked too, many times, like when Gea and I got caught playing tricks. Those kicks are big, heavy, and
言
painful.
っちゃダメだからね
Okay, got it. She'd kick me too for something like this. I say that, but I don't want her to worry unnecessarily.
次は何
We all looked at the notebook. We managed to finish 5 of them this morning. As for pedigree, the Itos recognized the Gea and they led us into the garden. We weren't able to have a ride on his back, but Kotori gave Pedigree a hug, so we counted it as a success. In the end, it was quite tough for her to roll around and play with him. Pedigree probably weighs more than Kotori. Oh dear. St. Bernard's probably weighed more than me. On top of that, he licked her all over her face. She looked like she was ecstatic.
カフェフラックスに行く
Gea reads out from the list. Where's that?
あれだよウィンディにあるそれはもういいの
Kotori, who had suddenly gone red, drew a line through that entry with a red pen. Gea whispers into her ear.
誰か一緒に行きたい人いるの違うただの勘違い
Something was said to Kotori, and now she's desperately trying to cover something up. What could it be?
ちょっと大人な雰囲気のカフェだよ有名なパティシエがプロデュースした店でスイーツが美味しいんだって
Do you want to go there?
だから違うって勘違いなの学校で誰かが話してるのを聞いて美味しそうだなって思っただけでそういう場所とは知らなかったのよ
That kind of place. It's not just a normal
カ
cafe.
ップル客をターゲットにしてて店にはそういうお客さんがうじゃうじゃ風ヶ浦の若い腐女子たちにとってはデートであそこに行くのが一種のステータスになってるってわけ本当に知らなかったんだからね
Kotori points at me. She's strongly denying it, but it's not like I really have any suspicions about it.
葵と言ってくれば
Gross.
何を言ってるのだからそんなつもりで書いたんじゃ
Coterie had gone red and was looking down. Well, I don't mind. Is that place expensive?
ケーキが1つ800円くらいから紅茶もだいたいそれくらいだったかな。
Per piece? Like, how big are these pieces? That is a little steep.
本場仕込みのミルフィーユが看板メニューなんだけど、すっごい美味しいらしいよ。そっちは1つ1300円ね。
For one cake? I guess it is in the same place as the supermarket that sells high-grade marbled meat for $30 for 100 grams. For doing the work of the dorm mother, I can get a small allowance for my mom, so next month will be okay.
だから違うって言ってんでしょうが。紅茶とケーキが美味しいお店だって、素敵なお店だって誰かが言ってるの聞いたから。別に男の子とデートしてみたいなんて言ってない。言ってない。
Oh, it must be important because she said it twice. I was overwhelmed by her vigor and nodded without saying anything.
はい、この話はおしまい。
She one-sidedly dropped that subject. See, used the pen to thoroughly blot out that entry.
しょ
Might have bled through to the other side of the page.
葵、残念そうな顔してない？
Nope. Huh? No, I don't.
甘いもの好きだもんね。
Yeah. I wouldn't get disappointed about something like that. Besides, did I really look disappointed? Yeah, I cleared away the lunchboxes and opened a bag of snacks. I bought a lot because I felt like we were going on an excursion. Like I eat some Prech snacks. She takes another look at the notebook after Coterie had finished blotting it out. Speaking of which, we were in the middle of talking about what to do next.
ねえ、これ何？
Okay, I was looking at the entry at the number 1 spot on the list. It was written much bigger than the other entries. I want to pass through the passage of cloud. Yeah, that's what I thought was quite mysterious too. What is that?
そう。
What do you mean you don't
だ
know?
ってそれ書いたの私じゃないもの。
I feel like this note shouldn't be there. Answered Coterie while crunching the Prech snacks that Age had given her. Now that she mentions it, the handwriting is different. Eat as much hardened darch as I want, and so on are written in nice uniform writing. Compared to the meticulously neat handwriting, I want to pass through the passage of cloud was written in a way that seemed bold and spirited.
じゃあ誰が書いたの？ノートの持ち主よ。私が見つけた時にはもう書いてあったの。
There are a few entries written in this unbridled fashion, and below are the neatly written entries. Coterie had added to it, continuing from what someone else had written. You found it? What do you mean?
私が飛び予想に来た時、棚の隙間に隠してあったのよ。じゃあこれ、ハバネさんのノートじゃないんだ。ええ、多分前に住んでた子の日記よ。
She says that it's a diary. I feel hesitant to just go and open it. Had Coterie read
じ
it?
ゃあ誰かの日記の続きにハバネさんが書いたってこと？
Without thinking, Age and I both made a face like, why, while Coterie remained silent. I don't think that it's because it would be a shame to waste the unused pages. The thing that I was more concerned with was, I want to pass through the passage of cloud. What is a passage of cloud? If it's clouds we're talking about. I look up, and there's a blue sky and a few clouds, and then a giant windmill. Windmill blades moving around slowly in the wind look a lot like the wings of a glider. Glider.
じゃあ次はこれ、献血。
Gross.
みんなで血を抜きましょう。
That sounds like a fun excursion, doesn't it?
ふい、最後のは結構きつかったね。
My eyes are still flickering. Last thing we did was complete Lady and Silver Gun, the final entry on the list. If you're wondering what that is, it's a shoot-'em-up game, and until just now we were at the video game arcade, where we finally completed it by repeatedly using continues and taking turns. Okay, the turns part I didn't see there. Because it was so hard, it made getting to the ending all the more impressive.
いやー、なかなかの名作だったね。
I'm no good at shoot-'em-ups. The best of this game was Age and Coterie. It seemed that Coterie had played it from time to time when she skipped school before. She must have gotten mad with the incredible difficulty of the game and said, "One day I will complete this game," and added that entry to the notebook, it seems. We had to spend $30 to complete it.
これでリストは全部クリア？
We also finished the entries that Kotori hadn't written while we were at it. The only one left was to pass through the passage of cloud. Since we didn't know what that meant, we had virtually cleared the whole list.
終わってみるとなんかあっけないね。
I'm glad we finished it before dinner.
そうだね。遊ぶならまた別の日にすればいいもんね。
What's up?
なんでもない。
Kotori's expression seems dark. Same as Gaya, it looks like she feels unexpectedly disappointed now that it's all over, like it wasn't enough.
さてと、お腹空いたし、そろそろ帰りますか。
Hopefully your mom won't find out about this.
大丈夫だって、うちの谷そんなに豆じゃないし。
But Hotaru is quite serious. If she realizes that you hadn't come to school, she might tell your mom, right?
そん時は葵も芋づる式だからね。
What? How could you? Are you gonna tell on me?
5年ぶりにお母さんのケツキック食らいなさい。
She said jokingly and turned to face Kotori.
今日はありがとう。ハバネさんのおかげですんごい楽しかった。じゃあまた明日ね。
She said with a smile and turned to leave. With a spring in her step, she walks up the gentle slope. Kotori went to say something, so Gaya stopped walking. Kotori looked down and faltered as she spoke. This time she looked like she was about to cry. Gaya waited for a little while for Kotori to open her mouth, patiently. However, Kotori didn't say anymore.
ねえハバネさん。
You want to join the soaring club, you idiot?
私ね、本当は今日お話があって会いに行ったんだ。お話？一緒にやろうよ、ソアリング部。
Soaking a boo.
葵から聞いたよ。グライダーのこと詳しいんでしょ。ガレージに行くのいつも楽しみにしてたんでしょ。一緒にやったら絶対楽しいって。きっと毎日が今日みたいだよ。だからね。
Kay closed her mouth and waited for a reply. There was no mistake that Kotori was ambivalent. She was certainly interested in gliders, so I think she would actually really like to join the soaring club. That's why now she might be able to express those feelings.
やらないって言ってるでしょ。どうして？どうしてもよ。あなたには関係ない。
Gay's expression dropped at Kotori's blunt refusal.
どうしてそういう言い方になるかな。余計なこと聞いてくるからでしょ。そんなだからクラスでも浮いちゃうんだって思わない？
This time Kotori seemed irritated by Gay's remark.
浮いてて悪かったわね。誰かさんみたいに八方美人じゃないだけよ。八方美人ですって。
Hold it, calm down, both of you. Why are you arguing all of a sudden? I stepped in so they can't ignore me. After we had such a fun day, let's just cut it. Gay pushed me aside like I was in her way. Oh, it's no good. It looks like she's quite pissed off about the kissing up
こ
comment.
の間のことはみんなが悪いって思うよ。あんな風に言われたらハバネさんが怒るのも当然だもん。けどハバネさんにだって悪いところがあったと思う。どこがよ。ほらその態度。
Gay pointed her fingers at Kotori's face as if to say, there, irrefutable evidence.
挑戦的っていうかなんていうか、そんなだからみんなに誤解されちゃうんだよ。今日一緒に遊んだみたいにさ、もっと普通に打ち解ければいいじゃんか。親切にどうも別に頼んでないけど。何その言い方。あなたってほんと親切よね。は？知ってるんだから。私にやたらと話しかけてきたの先生に頼まれたからなんだって。
Faltering for a moment after hearing Kotori's words, Gay stayed tight-lipped. Her cheeks went red.
私はそれとも私のことがかわいそうだから親切にしてくれてたの？そういうのもううんざりなのよ。
Kotori told her and turned her wheelchair sideways.
さよなら。
Hey. And with that, she left by herself. Like, yeah.
いいの。ハバネさんの言ったこと、全部本当だから。
But that's not the reason why you did it, though, is it? Aren't you also being misunderstood?
ごめん。もう帰るね。
Okay, this time looking like she didn't want to talk, which looked like she didn't want to talk, with trembling shoulders, climbed the gentle slope. I watched her from behind as she left and then hurried back to the dormitory. Kotori. Hey, Kotori. Het came out as if to protest about the noise. Hey, is your buddy in there? Get out of the way, would you? I'll move Hat out of the way and take a peek into Kotori's room through the duck door. Damn it, Hat's in the way, I can't see.
いけないんだ。
Kaneko, has she come back yet?
いいよ。まだみたいだけど。なんかあったの？
Yeah, kinda. Can I ask you to prepare dinner?
え？私が？
Please.
嘘。ちょっと、それはやばいって。言っちゃったよ。どうなっても知らないから。これでみんなおしまい。せいせいしたわ。
That's not what it looks like, though. Call out to her, but without surprise, Kotori looks at me for a moment before quickly looking back at the lake. At night, the lake looks like a vast black mass of darkness lying sideways. On the other side is Windmill Hill, which looks beautiful and illuminated. Since she hadn't come back to the dormitory, I guessed that she might be here, and this is where I found her. What are you doing here, a self-assessment? I say it in a light-hearted way, but she doesn't answer. Let's go back, it's almost time for dinner. Kotori shook her head. You can't stay here, can you?
いやよ、帰りたくない。
Why not?
今日終わらせたくないから。
She mumbled quietly as her cheeks quivered for a moment. What do you mean?
部屋に帰ったら終わっちゃう。今日が楽しすぎて終わらせたくない。
Well, then I got an idea. Join the soaring club. Sound like she was getting tearful.
こんな風に友達みたいに誰かと過ごしたの久しぶりだったのよ。
Kotori.
なのに結局喧嘩しちゃった。
Yeah, and whose fault is that? Yes, that's true. You can't round off a fun day with an argument. For me too, today was an unbelievably fun day. It was like being a kid again, playing stupid pranks from sun up till sundown. And now the thing that makes me feel a little pleased is the fact that I know that Kotori feels the same way. About Agea. I didn't see the things that happened in the class, so I can't really say, but she's a simple person, so I don't think she would have done what the teacher asked if she didn't want to. However, even if she hadn't been asked, she's the type who would just do it anyway. That sometimes causes problems, though, right? I said jokingly, and Kotori smiled just a little.
知ってる。
And today she wasn't asked to, but she skipped school with us, didn't she? That was the first time she had skipped school, and only stuck with us because that's how things turned out. She's not a bad person. Maybe she really thinks that she wants to be your friend. That's what I think. Even Agea wouldn't go this far just for the sake of being kind.
私の足がこんな風になったのは
Okay.
旅行先で事故に遭ったの。それまではあなたやあの子たちと同じように立って歩いたり走ったりしてたわ。友達もたくさんいて運動部にも入ってた。バレー部だったのよ。
Really? I imagine Kotori jumping up from the floor and launching an attack on the opponent's court. No doubt about it, she would have been brilliant. Spectacular.
それが事故で足を怪我して、私が行ってた学校にはエレベーターなんてなかったし、校舎の至る所に段差があって。
A step of as little as 5 centimeters is a huge obstacle for a wheelchair.
学校に通うことさえ困難になった。怪我する前のような生活。放課後みんなでハンバーガー食べに行ったり、服を買いに行ったり、そんな当たり前のことが何一つできなくなった。仲の良かった友達は気がつくとみんな離れていってたわ。一緒に遊べないんだから当然よね。
No, that can't be true. If they were your friends, they wouldn't care. They can still hang out with you. Saying that might just be oversimplifying things, though. At the very least, that is her actual experience of it.
ある時ホームルームで私がみんなから孤立してるのに気づいた先生が、ハバネさんはかわいそうな子なんです、もっと仲良くしてあげましょう。すごいショックだった。自分がどんな境遇にいるのか思い知らされて。
Yeah, that's not really something you say.
その後一人でこっそり泣いたわ。悔しくて情けなくて、そんな風に気を使われるのが嫌でしょうがなかった。
Cuddly's hands were trembling as she held on to the hem of her skirt. Looked like the frustration of that time had come back to haunt her.
だからここへ来たの。完全バリアフリーの学校なら誰にも迷惑をかけず一人でやっていけるって。
At her school, Cuddly can go there by herself and can get into and out of the classrooms without anyone's help.
けどやっぱりダメだった。学校って場所は一人でやっていけるようにはできてないのよね。
It's not just a physical problem, it's a social environment and you can't get by without being involved with other people.
おまけにタイヤがパンクしたら遭難の危機だし、一人でお風呂にも入れないんですもの。なんかもう疲れちゃった。
She murmured as she spoke and looked across the windmill hill on the other bank. The composed forms of the giant windmill seemed to have a calming effect on her. That would be pretty tiring, wouldn't it?
でしょ？私結構頑張った方だと思わない？
I do. I agree from the bottom of my heart. I can't just say something simple like, try even harder.
ソアリング部の部員集めうまくいってるの？
Well, looks like we might be able to do something. I just hope we make it in time.
そう、よかった。あの変な先輩ずっと一人で頑張ってたんでしょ？途中で終わらせちゃかわいそうだもんね。私も一度でいいから飛んでみたかったの。あのグライダーで。
Cuddly narrows her eyes as she speaks. She looks across to the sky above Windmill Hill. Hey, you don't really want to quit school, do you?
そんなことないわ。お父さんやお母さんも心配してるし、私が学校辞めて家に帰れば喜んでくれる。
Cuddly smiled when she said that, but to me it looked like she was forcing herself to smile. I sat next to Cuddly and, just like her, looked at the view of the opposite bank. Before I came to Kasuga, I was in a cycle racing club at a school really far from here. When I started to speak, she glanced at me and didn't say anything while she listened to me. There are sports scholarships for bicycling too, you know. I trained desperately daily to win races and to be exempt from paying tuition fees. The practice was seriously tough, but riding the bike felt good, so I didn't really feel like it was such hard work. Bicycle road races are incredibly tiring. In a big competition, you cycle 100 kilometers in one day. Good golly gee. It takes like an hour to drive that far, like at driving speed.
100キロ。それはすごいわね。
It is, isn't it? Also, you have to go over hills on the way. Hill climbing is complete hell. While climbing, I always wanted to give up. But after climbing it, cycling down the hill feels amazing. I couldn't tell if Kotori was impressed or envious when she responded. That part is fun, so that's why I thought I'd try racing. In one competition, I came third.
すごいじゃない。それって全国大会だったの？
I nod with pride. Actually, that is one of the few things that I can be proud of. An-chan came to watch. I was really happy about that, but then I got greedy. In the first race of the second year, I had an accident. While in the middle of the downhill section, I was involved with another bike that had fallen down, of all things. In that situation, I was competing with several other bikes. I was in a hurry to get to the front and got too close to another bike. Then the accident occurred. The other bike suddenly lost its balance, and I got tangled up with it and hit the asphalt while traveling at high speed. With a bitter smile, I rolled up the leg of my pants on the right leg and shower. With that accident, my life as a racer ended all too soon. The scar from the surgery is still fresh. Kotoyo looked at it and seemed to be at a loss for words. If it were her, she would be able to say that she got away with just the scar. With rehabilitation, I was able to walk again. I now have no problems with everyday life. Even the doctors are amazed. But I can't ride a bike anymore.
それが前の学校を辞めた理由?
I nod quietly. I was a scholarship student, so it was hard for me to be there after I withdrew from school, but I could have stayed there. However, my friends from the cycle racing club were there, and I would watch them practicing. While I watched them doing their best from afar, I was unable to live a normal life. My leg recovered after the rehabilitation, but instead I felt really depressed. I thought that it would have been better if I couldn't move at all, because I could have just given up on it. It was painful and difficult, and I didn't know how to handle all my unfocused thoughts. That's why I came back. I ran away from my hometown. Somehow I felt a sense of relief, and I wrapped up the story. Now that I think about it, this is the first time I've spoken to Kotoye about this. I haven't even confided in Agaya and the others about this.
逃げたくなることもあるわ。生きるのって楽しいことより辛いことの方が多いんだもの。
The things that Kotoye says to comfort me are actually really pessimistic. That must be how she really feels. Well, I mean, that's kind of true. However, I didn't tell her this because I wanted to be comforted. There are still things I want to say. There are some things I realized from running away. There's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere left to run. It's like a dead end, but I cannot see the way forward either.
あるわよ。あなたなら他にも。
I thought I would regret it running away, I mean. But it wasn't like that. My hometown is the same as it always was. It kindly welcomed me back.
よかったじゃない。
That makes it even worse. The warmth of my hometown, it makes me forget my pain and impatience. It feels like I'm gradually being paralyzed. The pain, and the importance of the things I've lost. I'm forgetting them little by little. If I lose that, will I still be me?
あなたにはあるわ。グライダーが。
Yeah. I'm excited to think I could fly in it. I envision myself flying through the air as I look to the night sky. After that, Kotoye looks down. Do you have something like that? Something ahead of you if you quit school and go back to your hometown. Kotoye looked at me like she was in shock. She desperately tried to hold back the tears that were welling up and about to fall from her eyes.
そんなこと言わないでよ。そんな残酷なこと。
Whether something lay ahead or not, I realized then that she had a deep conflict within, even more than I thought she had. You don't think there's anything ahead, do you? That's why if you have nothing left to do, everything is over.
違う。あれはただ楽しかったから。
If you want a bath, I'll help you get in. If you get a puncture, I'll fix it for you. I'll help you if you need it, so... A tear ran down Kotoye's cheek, but it was only a single tear.
これ以上誰かの足手まといになるのはごめんなの。
To be honest, you would probably be a lot less of a burden if you weren't, you know, being such a brat.
私の退学届返して。
I went to get the withdrawal notice that I had stuck into the back of the drawer.
そんなところに隠してたんだ。
When I held the withdrawal notice in my hand, the terrible things that I had said to her came back in my mind. Do you have something like that? Something ahead of you to quit school and go back to your hometown? I regret those words as I offered her the withdrawal notice. Well, I mean, like, that's not really bad things to say, though. Like, what are you talking about? You dropped this, so I picked it up.
ありがとう。
However, Kotoye didn't take it straight away. For her to take that would be for her to decide her own future. But in the end, she reached out her hand. I quickly pulled it away, and she seemed embarrassed. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna give it back. I held onto it and left the room.
おかえり。晩ご飯できてるよ。もう大好評でさ、お鍋丸ごと余っちゃった。これどうしよう。
I walk up beside Kaneko and I make it look like I'm rummaging around the kitchen.
何してんの？
Not long after, Kotogi comes into the dining hall.
返して。私の退学届。退学届？
That's too bad. I've already hidden it somewhere else.
なんてことするのよ。
I won't accept it. Just give it another chance.
はあ？意味わかんない。
Feelings that this situation wasn't fair were bubbling up inside me. I know how Kotogi feels. Oh man, it's an hour long. It must have been incredibly difficult, and it makes me feel a pain in my chest just imagining it. But it's only been 10 days since I came here, and I feel like I want to do something for her, but isn't the time that I've been given too short? I get it. I'm just being nosy. I totally get it.
何一人で言ってんの？返しなさいよ。それ私のでしょ。
No way. If you want it back, look for it yourself.
ひどい。さっきまでのしんみりしたちょっといい話っぽい雰囲気は何だったのよ。
The hell if I know.
やっぱりこいついじめっ子だ。
I whistle badly and play dumb.
ちょっとかなこさん。はいよ。こいつがどこに隠したか見てたでしょ。さあどうだったかな。知ってても教えないけど。だって小鳥ちゃんいなくなっちゃうの寂しいんだもん。
Kotogi's face had gotten red. Looks like her rage gauge has reached max.
バカアホ人出だし。そんなのなくったって退学くらいできるんだからね。
Firing off a few parting shots, Kotogi hurries out of the dining hall.
ご飯できてるから後でチンして食べなよ。
The door at the end of the hallway closed with a slam.
でどこに隠したの？
I pulled a piece of paper out from under my shirt.
やるじゃん。
Thanks for your help. Alrighty, there we go. We got a nice hour-long video right here. Boy. Got to stretch after all that strenuous activity of clicking and talking. But that's all for today, so...
失礼しました。
Alright, well... yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Now I gotta go censor this.